Hey guys, welcome back to the Big Witch Energy Podcast. We have a super special guest today. Everyone welcome Arlen Aguayo Stewart, or Arlen the Great, as Theora likes to say.
Oh my God.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Theora is also an Arlen simp, just so you know.
Oh, no way. Oh my God. I'm discovering this all now.
Well, you know. Just thought you should know. Big fan of Nicte. I think Nicte's super fun for many reasons, and it's very refreshing to see her as a character, and we just love her. So thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to us. Our listeners love her too. So
I'm sorry it took so long to organize.
No worries. No worries.
In COVID
Girl,
times,
you've been busy.
Anyway. Yeah, you're busy. So we'll start off with just talking about Nicte because we have some questions.
Ask me.
Good. All right. So with Nicte, when we're first introduced to her in Liberia, so at that time, she's a soldier. She's been conscripted. She's fighting with Alder in the army. And then this big tragedy happens where Alder betrays her and kills these witches that surrendered, which leads Nicte to taking action to end conscription. And that then we get the spree, the big boogeyman for the rest of the show. And so I'm curious, with Nicte's anti-conscription ideology, did that start before that pivotal moment, or was that kind of the birth of that for her?
That is the birth of that, because prior to that, Alder's her idol. Right. And she's obsessed with Alder. It's very, I think it's similar to Tally, in that this idealization. There's so many different kinds of feelings connected to Alder. And in the Liberia moment, I guess she realizes that Alder isn't perfect and she's fallible, and to some extent uses Nicte's work to do this thing that Nicte would when Nicte realizes that these witches had surrendered and they actually just didn't want to be in the army. I think the question of choice comes up, why are we all just fighting these wars, and whose wars are we fighting, and should we have a say in what we do and why we do it? And so I think that kind of definitely births the ideology of the spree, which is just everyone gets to choose whether they want to fight or not. And anti-conscription, rah rah rah.
That's super interesting, birth of a whole ideology.
And such a powerful big moment too. So traumatizing.
Because it's your idol. It's
using your stuff.
Completely adore and that you want to be to some extent. And then I guess she just sees Alder in a completely different light. And
yeah. And speaking of Alder, they have a super complex relationship. Starting with a mentor-mentee type of thing, which develops into mortal enemies after Alder's betrayal. So, after the trial in season 2, do you think Nicte's perception of Alder changed?
I mean, in that trial moment, Nicte is ready to be a martyr and everything. But at the same time, we get to see in the prison cell that she's actually quite scared. She's I'm gonna die, but she's I don't want to die. I want to live my life. I would really I think she spent so much time just being stuck in that hatred that she's missed out. And then when Alder is actually vulnerable, but Alder becomes vulnerable because Tally kind of forces her into that position. It's not because Alder's I'm going to choose to actually own this.
Yeah.
She's forced into that. And I think that does hit Nicte. I think everything that happens that day hits Nicte. Tally standing up in that way. Alder actually letting go. I think that when you dream and hope and work towards something so intensely, especially as passionately as Nicte did, and then it actually happens, sometimes it's kind of you're in exams. You're like
Yeah.
studying and studying and studying, and you're like, oh my god, I'm doing this exam, blah blah blah, and I can't wait till this exam's over, because then I'm gonna like go and like whatever, have a smoothie.
Yeah.
Like I don't
That's
know.
what I do.
You're like, I'm gonna
Be
clean my
free.
room, or like you have all these things that you love to do, be free, and then it happens, and there's this kind of like empty feeling, like
Yeah.
you kind of lose purpose. You're just like, oh shit, I was working so hard towards this thing, and it's not here anymore. Like, what do I do? And you're just like, oh my god, maybe I should write another essay, but you don't actually want to. Truly, you're just like, screw that.
Right.
But I think it's kind of like that. I think that Nick just kind of like,
Fair
shit,
enough.
What now?
Yes.
And it's just processing it all and being like, okay, so I took her down. She's down now. But the military complex is still happening, right?
Right.
So, but Alder-wise, I think that does maybe soften things a little bit, but they have a lot to work out,
Yeah. Do you think she'd ever try to forge any kind of relationship of any type with Alder?
I don't know. I feel like Alder would have to like
really, take the responsibility on board and
yeah.
say, hey.
Yeah. Like, hey.
Sorry I was a dick.
Yeah. And ruined your life.
Sorry about
your
that
life.
thing. Sorry about that. Oh. Yeah, because I think they also fueled each other later, because like Alder made the spree the ultimate enemy of the military.
Exactly.
And so would blame all these things that are happening on the spree. Sometimes that were definitely the spree and sometimes weren't. So I think Nicte was just like getting more and more mad.
Yeah.
And also painting the spree in a very particular terrorist light and missing kind of more.
Alder making the spree the boogeyman.
Exactly. The boogeyman.
Rather than, injecting any kind of understanding of that these are humans.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, I don't think there's much hope for that relationship.
Hey, it's on Alder.
It's on Alder.
It's on Alder.
And probably a therapist to mediate.
Yeah, like a mediator or facilitator, probably therapist.
For everyone's safety, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Foam bats? I don't know.
Yeah. They're like, Nicte, you can't bring your bats in here. I'm so sorry. Just you. They're like in a dome.
Out of here.
No.
Oh, the sad. That would be sad.
That would be sad. But entertaining.
Yeah, very absolutely.
All right.
Spin-offs,
So that'd be a great spin-off.
I'd be down for that.
I'd be down for that. So off the Alder train for a little bit and back to Nicte as a character. So I need to know, for like science and literary reasons.
Science.
I've noticed Nicte as a character possesses a lot of charm. And so I'm curious kind of where that came from, because oftentimes charm is given to characters, usually male characters, who fall in that like evil realm. And it's usually a trait they use for like manipulation, like Hermes in Greek, like one of the Greek gods. He was charming. He used it to manipulate. So I'm curious with Nicte, who kind of falls in like all the spectrums really, but has that darkness about her, whatever. Was the charm intentional, or was it something that just is part of her character and is not like a means to an end kind of thing?
I really love that question.
It's for science.
Think it's for science. I think that Nicte is like a bit of like she's recluse and she's alone a lot. And when she was younger, she was definitely like kind of like a wounded stray dog type thing. And in mobilizing the spree, like I think at first she had this idea, she was very passionate, very angry. And I don't think that worked super well with people. So she had to be like, okay, I have to try and like, get people on my side, and I can't come in like this intensely. So I think that she kind of tried to discover humor, and I think you think it's charming, but I actually think it's quite her awkwardly trying to be like, I'm making a joke.
And there is charm in that.
And
she's trying.
Yeah, like she's just like, she's sarcastic. She's kind of abrasive sometimes, but she does it with a smile, hoping that that will like, work.
Ease it into it.
Ease it into it. But I think a lot of the time she's a bit of a weird leader, because like she had dreamed of the army, right? Being the head of the army, and then being the head of the spree. Like, I don't think you realize how much work it takes to lead people and to talk to people and connect with people. And I think she's more of like one of those moody actors that's just like, I need my space. Like, you do this, please.
That takes me back to the drama of the hood in that one scene in season 2, the cabin. It's just like the scene starts and is like, this is some dramatic shit. This is some drama llama up in here.
Well, Nicte's like, that moment for her is like pure, like, I'm in my moment. I don't care what's around me.
I love it.
So I'm gonna take her. But like, I'm still doing it behind a hood. You know? She's not doing it like this. She's like definitely hiding. So there's a lot of hiding to it. And so she's kind of sassy, but she's trying to be funny. Sometimes it lands. With Tally, you'll see that sometimes she's like, stop it.
I still think Tally's charmed though, deep down.
I think she's charmed too, for sure. But and Nicte likes to play. I do. Yeah, I think you see that with Tally. I think she feels the most comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Tally's actually so much love and sweetness, and that disarms Nicte in a way. So we see a softer side of Nicte with her.
I think you kind of have to be a little more comfortable with somebody to mention their dimples like that. So.
Oh yeah. I'm totally watching your cat in the background, just like slowly walking in.
Oh, hi. You gonna interrupt everything? Thank you.
I love the tails. It's like.
She's a very floofy lady.
I love it.
Hello, lady. Miss Aspen.
Aww.
Let's see. Aspen, you distracted me. Okay, so it's super refreshing to have a character like Nicte who is so complex. And I feel like it'd be really easy to make her one-dimensional and like write her off as just evil. But as the story progresses, her story unfolds as someone who's made choices and is facing the consequences of those choices. And it's such a human thing. And we're curious if we're going to dive further into that as the story goes on. If you can even say that.
Well, you definitely see more of Nicte for sure.
Good. That's always a good thing.
And Nicte hang out with people.
That's what I want to see. I've always said that. I've said like I need to see Nicte interact with certain characters, one of them being Scylla.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say very much. I really can't say very much. But you will see. You will see soon, because we're almost done filming. And
I know. We're both sad and excited.
Good. Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been such a journey. So I can't say anything. I can't say very much, but there's more Nicte. That's for sure.
That's pretty much what we wanted to know.
Yes. Okay. It's important. Yeah. It's for science.
Yeah. It's for science.
It's for science. Science is doing well so far.
Yeah. So it's doing very well.
But I guess speaking along the lines of cryptic season 3 stuff, just in your opinion, with your character, do you feel satisfied with Nicte's journey that season?
In season 3?
Yeah.
I think that, we're all like pumped to be doing season 3. There's also kind of like the sweet, bitter vibes of it, like potentially being the last season, which it looks like it might be the last season.
Not if we have anything to say.
I mean, not if y'all go for it, and so I think there's always space for all these characters to continue to develop. But I'm happy that. Yeah, I'm happy that we get to see a bunch of different people connect and face all kinds of different circumstances, as is with the incredible writing of Motherland, the Motherland writers, because they just throw all kinds of stuff at you and you're like, Wah! So, It's gonna be a kick-ass season. But yeah, I just hope there's still gonna be space for more growing, more learning, and seeing because we're all getting to just know these characters now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's the
and
thing.
yeah, and there's a lot of us. There's so many characters. It's
Yeah,
like
like
so much to unpack.
you need 10 more episodes per season and 7 full seasons. Thank you.
Well, I gotta
That's
work
what
at it.
So the spree's been such this constant ominous presence from the very
Mhm.
first scene of the show.
Thank you.
Kind of like
Yeah.
a boogeyman hiding under the bed for a lot of the civilians of the world.
Yes.
How would Nicta describe the spree?
Nicte would first and foremost talk about choice because that is her jam. She would say that the spree is a movement where witches actually get the space to be human beings, and live lives and make the choices about what they want to do with their lives. And um, that we've been living in service to humans for a very long time as military cattle. And some might want to do that, but that should be their choice. People shouldn't be forced to do that at age 18
Yeah.
and not get the chance to, fall in love. Because you can see the kind of complexes of even just Willa and trying to connect to her family, like not even seeing her partner, not seeing her daughter. And there's all these hierarchies within the army too. Like everything's decided for you based on what talents you have. Then there's all the black magic or the dark arts, and there's definitely a decision, like a how do we say, like a bureaucratic? No, like a what's canon, what's not canon.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a decision of like what is canon, what's not canon, and Nicta definitely uses a lot of non-canon work and is a very creative witch because she's like always working on different workings and creating new things. And um, there's a lot of control in the army as to what you can use and what you can't use, what you can create, what you can't create. So I think as an artist of magic, Nicta would also say like this gives you the freedom to develop your magic as well. And the concept of good and evil isn't determined for you. You get to be part of creating that yourself. So come join the spree.
It's like a choose your own adventure book with work.
Yeah, with work.
I love it.
No, I love it because we talk about this a lot on the podcast, but especially when it comes to the spree, it's just all about like whose perspective you're looking at the spree from.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing Nicta's perspective.
Yes,
refreshing.
my pleasure.
Yes. So on the flip side of the spree, we also have like the Camarilla, who's like the complete opposite in terms of who they don't like, and their hierarchy is very linear and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, they have a lot in common in terms of just being very extreme with their methodology.
Yeah.
Just to make their point. And so I'm curious, like, does Nicte recognize that at all? Or does like the emergence of the Camarilla like impact her in any way? So that's kind of like new, I guess, at the end of season 2.
I think that in season 2, when Nicta's in the prison cell with Tally, and they're talking about Nicta's just like, she meets Hurst, and that has a huge impact on her, especially because they're kind of using similar methods in a way, or that people can think that her work is the same as the Camarilla's. They could be mistaken for each other. I think that's just like, oh shit, maybe my means to this end was not the right choice because it's being misread and misunderstood. And obviously so, because the military is also propped it up to be like, yeah, the what's it called? The spree's against humans only. But we're missing a whole bunch of the context as to why. So I think that she's just like, this maybe wasn't the right
path
choice.
to take.
Yeah, like maybe it wasn't the right path. And now my work is very similar to like our greatest ancient enemy. So that's really huge for Nicta. And in season 3 you'll get to see how she deals with that and what choices she makes from there, having that perspective now, and now having a common enemy with the military.
That's so exciting to hear.
Yes, it
is. That's exactly what we're like all hoping for.
Yeah. I know all the things.
All the things. You've seen all the script or done all the scripts. So is the spree gonna stick around though? Like, do we still have any spree? Is there any spree organization left that is gonna like come back in season 3? That's the kind of the question that
to
can't
spree
be answered, or not to spree.
To spree. That is the question.
That's the candy.
The candy. That's the candy. That's the hot sauce.
Oh, hot sauce. I can see your evil little hands going over there, Theora.
Well, I want to find out.
The pixelated hand.
It's not getting any better.
I think we're just cursed technologically today, honestly.
Correct.
We did have you for a moment. We had you fully.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word in English. Like, nítida. What's that word? Don't know it.
We'll go with your word.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Nítida.
So, very recently, we had the pleasure of speaking to Bob, aka Albin Hurst, our favorite bad guy.
You did! Oh my god, so fun!
We love him so much.
Bob is so much fun.
He is. And Albin is he's another one that he could have been so like one-dimensional, but he's not. And Bob does a great job with him. During our chat with him, he shared a fun little tidbit about how he gets into Albin's character, and he mentions that he says the words, hello, Clarice, from like Hannibal Lecter, as like, then he's like, then I'm Albin.
That makes so much sense.
Which now Albin makes sense when you hear him say that. But we're curious if you have any kind of do anything similar to like become Nicta, like any kind of like art or like Hannibal Lecter phrase or anything that you do like to get into characters or.
I wouldn't condense it in that way to like a phrase, but I definitely physicality, like her. I find her position, like her, because like I'm like up here, and Nicta's down here. So like I find where her neck is. The eyes is really huge for me, like how I look at people.
That super comes through.
Find my prey, because she's always searching. She's kind of like a wild animal in the forest who's always thinks she's going to be attacked. And so, and I think that in itself says a lot about her, which actually says a lot of this stems from fear and sadness and abandonment, and so, but we mask so much, a lot of the time you're showing the exact opposite of what you feel. So Nicta's not a super happy character. And so behind all that is the fear and the sadness, but it comes out as this tough exterior, and she's always surveying to see who's going to get her. And, obviously her journey with Alder was part of that, because she kind of opened up to Alder and was kind of like, this is who I am, this is the things I've gone through. So she's very shut, closed. So that just tells me a lot for my body. My body just goes like this. And then finding her voice, just bringing down the voice, and her walk as well. Like I worked a lot on her physical walk and how she moved through space. And the incredible costume team that I adore, led by Tracy Bolton. They're so generous and collaborative in us finding our costumes. And I've always loved that, because I find costume can also really affect you. Like if you're wearing like high inch heels, it's going to change the way you walk. you have to carry something heavy, it's gonna change your body. And for me, just finding like thick boots. Oh my god, Nicte boots are just like I don't know if you could even see them, but I'm like, these are amazing.
We
But
can't, but we want to.
Right?
oh, if you can find them, season 2, the boots are just like I love them. But they had this really thick sole, so like when you walk, it gives you like that weight. And that definitely affects the way that you move and her coats and stuff, how she hides. So we worked so much to jam on those outfits, like hours, hours of working on this. But we had so much fun, and in the end, we just got to places where it made sense. We're like, oh yeah, that's totally Nicta.
That's really cool
her.
because, and also the costume. We got an email from someone in the costume department. The Morgan Coven did, because they wanted to use our Valentines that Amber and I made to give to the cast because they love you guys so much. So if you guys got Valentines, that was because they love you so much, and they asked us for those to download and give out.
Oh my god. Well, also, I need to plug that they've been nominated for an award.
Hell yeah.
May 7th, we're gonna find out for best costume here in Canada. So
that's awesome.
Just saying that. Very well deserved.
We're gonna send out all the love to them then.
Please do, because they make like compared to a lot of shows, like they make so many of these outfits from scratch.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Are making them like
it's amazing.
We're set in this other world where sometimes you're just like getting, you're picking clothes, and that's an art in itself, absolutely. But like these seamsters are incredible. They're incredible. So yeah, super deserved.
They do seem really cool. I hope they win.
I hope so too. We're gonna be promoting May 7th. Look out for it.
Okay, will do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you got into the body language, because I had a chat with Amalia one time about her body language choices for Scylla.
Yeah.
And part of that involved her putting a hand in her pocket to give like this cool grease dudes vibe.
Yeah.
I call it the Scylla's fuckboy thing, but I noticed that when you got off the bus into the season 2 finale, you like had your hand in your pocket.
Oh my god.
Did you realize? Like, was that a choice?
No, I mean, I think that Nicte in that moment is so uncomfortable and feels so alone, and is trying to be like, I'm cool.
That's so funny. I love it.
Yeah, I got
it's like Nicte trying to be cool. I love it.
It's so purely Nicte trying to be cool, and then I don't know if people were able to see right through it, and just be like, wow, Nicte just alone in the back, just like it's so like I could really connect to that, because you have those moments in high school or whatever when you walk into a space and like you don't have any friends, or you don't know anyone, and you just like, oh, and you're like, I'm okay. I'm totally okay. Where the reality is just like you being like, I don't want to get off the bus. Can I just stay here?
Can I just stay in the bus seat and like chill?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people found Nicte getting off the bus to be like sexy. So
I was connecting to all my high school trauma, but if that's sexy, then
there you go.
I am winning at life.
I mean, like, I'm here for it. I just remember a lot of conversations were had about that scene. So
it's so funny. It's hilarious.
It's even more funny now that you put context to it.
Yeah, no. There's the context.
Ultimately, it sounds like Nicte needs a hug.
Yeah, like
I agree.
Ultimately.
And we'll volunteer.
Oh, into it. Come give Nicte a hug.
Big old Nicte group hug.
Yeah. Just a lot of love, and just be like, it's okay. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Go to the beach.
Something.
Just give it that skin a little bit of sunshine. It's been under that coat. Probably smells.
Probably take the hood back a little bit.
Yeah. Just get out there. It's okay, Nicte.
She'll get there, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
One of the great tragedies of the show is that we don't meet Nicte until season 2. And so we get sprinklings of the spree, but we don't know who's the mastermind behind that till later.
Yeah.
And so, but she was around, obviously, doing Nicta things. And
For
real.
Yeah.
And we have a segment on our podcast where we talk about like what characters are doing off screen. So we're wondering during season 1 when we don't know Nicta, like what is she doing when she's on camera?
What's she doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's plotting all the things that you see this Bree do. Like they were trying to get rid of all of the military's arms and like guns and all that stuff. Like they were trying to do that. They were, well, I mean, Nicte forever has been working on planting that biddy in the military, which is a lot of work to get someone to get through the ranks that way and to be selected for biddiness and stuff. So literally there have been major attempts at Alder like for a while, but Nicte has been playing the slow game. So it hasn't been, she's understood over time that like if you try and rush things because she was young, it doesn't always work. So here she's literally just been like slow. She hasn't yet met the unit, which is obviously the major catalyst for everything come together because of Tally. But at this point, she's just trying everything she can, infiltrating. They have Scylla in the military, so you have to imagine how many other potential spree are there in the military.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's different people on different missions. However, Scylla's mission definitely got super co-opted by Willa. Like Mama wanted to see her BB, which I obviously understand. Nicte probably would have been like, "What the hell, dude?" Because
that was always my question too. Was like, did Nicte even have a lot to do with Scylla being in that position?
No,
did
like,
she ever meet Scylla? Was it like ever? Did she
No,
just know her
no.
as I have an agent here?
I know. I mean, I think there's so many spree cells that know, and also Nicte's not a major micromanager. She's just kind of like,
yeah, I could see that
you
for real.
do your thing. Like she doesn't want to be controlling people. Like that's the whole point of this whole situation. However, I don't think Nicte would have been super down with Willa threatening Scylla with the balloon in the mirror. She's been like,
yeah.
No. Which is I think one of the things about the spree that you kind of see is that when something gets so big, it's hard to control what people are doing on the smaller scale. And given that the spree's ideology is so much about choice and people getting a chance to do what they want, it's not about like this like ride or die, like I will do whatever. Like even Jonas is in like a pretty like when he's just like, Scylla, you've gone soft, blah blah blah. Like Nicte would have been like, no, she doesn't want to, like she's fallen in love. Like chill out, Jonas. But people show different faces to different.
That's so interesting. I love that.
People, yeah. Like I think.
So she wouldn't have been down with Willa creepingly looking through the freaking mirror at whatever was going on, and that keeps me up at night.
No, I don't. Especially they're like kind of like, if you don't do this, we're gonna blah blah blah. There's no threats. Like if you don't want to be part of the spree, like get out. Don't be part of the spree. If you want to go live your life and be in love, Nicte will be like, do that. That's the whole point of the spree. It's so that you have that.
Yeah, it's in direct opposition of the army where your choice is taken away from you. Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes perfect sense.
It does.
But if you want to die for the spree, you really want to, okay. But that's your choice.
There's no balloon threatening for that.
No. No balloon threatening.
That's a Willa thing.
That's a Willa like really wanting to see her daughter desperately.
Yeah.
And like, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Right.
It's human. It's a human thing.
And you have to imagine that these spree cells are kind of like co-ops. And some co-ops suck.
Absolutely.
Like and so some co-ops are great. So like it really depends which co-op you're in. And it sounds like Scylla and Jonas were in a co-op of like really diehard, like really young people. Not to say that young people aren't amazing and can organize and mobilize, because literally they have in this world. We've seen it. But sometimes there's like a passion and kind of like a bit of a
short-sightedness.
Yeah, or just like a very ultimate, like this is the ultimate type. Sorry, all of my words are coming to me in Spanish right now. I'm just like
complete. It's cool.
What's happening? But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah,
I got distracted too.
You're distracted.
I was like, what's that like thinking in other languages?
Oh yeah, you're like, what is that?
Train of thought.
But I think just like the all or nothing thinking is definitely something that's present with some of the younger generation of this Bree folks.
I would definitely agree with that one. So by the end of season 2, Nicte joined the ragtag collective of army fugitives and Turim refugees.
Yes.
And then Quinn.
Yes.
So it seems like they're going to be spending a lot of time together, at least initially. So it's a diverse group of characters that she's interacting with now. So what do you think her first impression is of all these characters?
I think the first impression is just like, oh my God, I'm hanging out with toddlers. Okay.
That makes sense.
And Quinn.
And Quinn. Hanging out with toddlers and Quinn. And just like, and there's so many cooks in the kitchen. So many cooks. And a lot of them are from the military, and have like military protocol. And Nicta is definitely not that. So I think there's, without giving anything away, without answering this question from the perspective of what I know of season 3 and purely just going from season 2.
Yes.
I think there's like a space for mentorship for sure. Whether that's going to be accepted or not, we'll
Abigail.
And like there's a lot of tension with this Bree. Like this Bree has affected every one of these characters in really different ways. So there's also that elephant in the room, aside from being like, we're working together. And a lot of them didn't want Nicte to come either. Tally was the one that's like, she's coming 1,000%. So, Nicte like being like, no one wants me around, like that trauma is just continuing.
Of course.
It's high school all over again.
All over. Poor Nicte. Nicte just wants to be in the wood.
Now I want like Nicte and high school stories.
Oh my God, yeah. Just in the back, literally just hanging out in the back, being like, knowing obscure references and being like,
I could so see her being that person who like knows the weird punk band and also every line of like Greek tragedies and stuff.
Totally. Yeah, and just throwing it out there and people think it's really weird. And
like, what is she talking
about?
Where
are my people? Where are my people?
Well, it was me in high school.
I know. There we go. There we go. She's defending her crowd now through the fans.
Exactly.
Defending her people now. So yeah, lots of dynamics in that sense. And Nicte's, she's been on the run before. Like she's had to hide. So there's a lot of tricks up her sleeve as to how to do that successfully. And you will get to see that in season 2.
That's the thing. I'm always like, there are only two people in this entire group who have ever had to actually be on the run and hide, and it's Nicte and Scylla, and everybody better listen to them.
They know. But also, like, how will they get along?
Yeah, that's the other question. I could see them either, like, really bumping heads or actually, like, finding a spot of understanding.
I don't know. I mean, I do know. I can't say anything.
So I can't wait for that. Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for answering all of our questions that we had for you and Nicte by extension.
Sure.
Before we wrap up, we did have a couple of questions from our listeners, if you don't mind.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that. Please.
All right. So from one only JD on Insta, they want to know, what's your biggest takeaway from Motherland Fort Salem in both season 1 and season 2? Like for me, season 2 and 3. I'm sorry, numbers.
Season 2 and 3, and is it like me personally, like my take?
Yes.
Like, how do I feel, Arlen, about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway would be that we are ever evolving beings, and there's always a choice. There's always the opportunity to make some bad decisions and learn and grow from them. And if you stay stuck in your ways, then like there is no chance for that, and that's not living life either. So I think I've learned that through watching Nick. Just like, you can come around from it. You can come around from some pretty bad choices as long as you learn from them.
That's awesome.
I love that. It's such a human thing.
Yeah,
I love
such
that.
a human thing.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So JD, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope so, JD.
The next one we have is from Salem Fix, aka Amber, and she wants to know if you can share any up and coming projects with us, like outside of the Motherland Fort Salem stuff.
Oh, well, I worked on this lovely short that I think the fans will actually enjoy called BDE.
Okay.
Love it.
And it will be coming. It's still in the post-production jam of things. But that one, that's what I can say for now. I think look out for that. It'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, I think you guys are gonna have a good time with it. It's funny.
I can't wait.
And scary and silly.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good mix.
A good time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We will look out for that and that award for the costume department.
Yes. Also writing that down.
Yes.
yes, please.
And our last question from our listeners is from Jane Ash.
Yes.
Who wants to know, how old was Nicta when she first found out she could drive people to their deaths with her work?
Oh, she was 13.
Dang.
That is young.
That is young.
Yeah.
That must have been traumatizing.
It wasn't a good situation, no.
Yeah, like how do you take that on board with a 13-year-old brain? That's wow.
And it was accidental too, you know. It wasn't.
That's even worse.
Purpose. Yeah. So there's a lot of trauma with that.
And so that would make Alder's betrayal like
negative, so like massive,
gigantically worse. So no wonder Nicta's so like, this bitch.
Yeah, no. With Alder, I think with Alder, she like was like, hey, this is my biggest, deepest, darkest secret, and like I've accidentally really hurt people, and I don't want to do that again. I want to give you a weapon that you can use like for the good. And so when it's used to kill witches that had surrendered, want to be free, for Nicte, it was just like, it was just everything. It was all the trauma. Everything. Yeah, I feel it because I was really for Nicte. I was just like, it was just so painful. It was just like I did it again, and but this time someone used me. So, and she didn't want anyone to be used.
The person that she admired most.
I know. Yeah, it's brutal.
So brutal.
It's really brutal.
See, Nicta the prequel would be fascinating.
Reason.
Yeah, like that needs to happen.
Hi. Yeah.
There's a lot Shakespearean. There. I love it. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that wraps up our listener questions. Thank you so much.
Yes. So if you want, do you have any final words you'd like to say before we sign off?
What could I say? We've been working hard. It's been a wild time. We like love the fans like so much. I think that a lot of us haven't had the same like ability to connect the way that we have before, just because also everything's being filmed out of sequence, like because of everything. So it's literally all over the place. But the team's amazing. There's so much love, there's so much energy. We just haven't had the same kind of capacity to connect with fans. And I just want to say that I love you guys all. I'm still thinking of you. Like I can sometimes see some things coming in, but I've also kind of sometimes taken like literally just deleted apps on social media and been like, I need to focus. But so don't despair, fans. We see you. We love you. But also like I can see people are just like, oh, this person is doing this at this moment, so that means that they're in this episode, and I'm like, that's kind of like literally all out the door because everything is filmed out of sequence.
Exactly.
Completely. So there's you can't really figure out what's happening. We can't. So
Yeah, that must be something else right
I
there.
laugh when someone's like, "Oh, this person's definitely in this episode." I'm like,
that's what I'm like. All the speculation with like what people are wearing, like I see them in the uniform, blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, that means nothing.
I'm like, it could be a flashback, it could be anything. I literally had like little turtles
flashbacks, guys.
Like,
come on.
oh. I just don't want anyone to be disappointed. Just be like,
but I think everybody knows that it's just speculation, and they're just having fun and like kind of filling the space of
like
hiatus.
Motherland. Yes. Yeah. Well, there's also the convention that's happening.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Like Morgan Coven will be there. We're bringing you a t-shirt. I think Ames told you on Insta that we're bringing all the cast a t-shirt, actually.
Oh my God, really? Oh my God. Oh my God. I love those t-shirts. I love them.
Just wait.
So great. It's so great. Okay, well, yeah, those are my messages. And
awesome.
Thank you to both of you for your patience and your kindness and organizing this and being present, pixelated or not, kitties or not, surgical assistant or pharmacist extraordinaire, just really appreciate it. And I'm really pumped to see you guys in person. Like, it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I think it's like the biggest thing we've been looking forward to, period, is coming. Unfortunately, Theora is not joining us, but I think there'll be 11 of us. So I'm sorry in advance for the chaos crews coming in.
No. I am ready for it.
Amazing.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. And we hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Yes. Have a wonderful day.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.
And with that, we've been Big Witch Energy. If you like this episode, check out all of our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, comment below, and subscribe for more amazing content. Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus.